Aloha, Sharks fans. Welcome back to Sharks Weekly, your inside look at Hawaii Pacific University athletics, right here on Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. We're live from Manoa, powered by DSE Hawaii, and today we're talking HPU women's volleyball. The Sharks are 3-5 to start the year, with wins against Cal State LA, Cal Poly Humboldt, and UC Merced, all members of a competitive CCAA conference. Now the focus shifts to PacWest play, which begins this Friday. Joining me today is head coach Jenic Tumaneng, who's led the Sharks program with passion and consistency, along with the two standouts, outside hitter Peyton McBride and setter Maile Salang. Before we start the show, I just want to bring in our in-studio producer, Paul. Paul, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Excited to be here. Excited to learn a little bit about this year's volleyball squad as you kind of got into it. They're off to a solid start. They've got some fun new faces and a couple that we're going to learn about here today. So always excited to learn more about one of our HPU programs.
Yeah, it's definitely an exciting team to learn about today. So, Coach, let's start with you. You guys are 3-5 right now. And these aren't teams that are lightly, right? You guys took teams on from the CCAA conference. Let's talk a little bit about the difference between that conference and PacWest and going into PacWest this Friday.
Yeah, well, again, every conference, I think, in nationally is have their own, strengths and weaknesses. I think PacWest is up there on the strong side as well. But playing against other CCAA teams and also the Jenic teams, that gives us a good test early and see what we can work on to be better and just give us a bar to kind of, keep moving forward.
And we saw a lot of you shifting a lot of players around. Do you feel like you kind of found that starting lineup that you feel comfortable with going into PacWest starting Friday?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to the girls at preseason. Everybody will generally get their chances to get in there. And that's the part of what we want to do is get ourselves ready for our conference play.
Yeah. And Peyton, you've been to, this is your third school now, right? So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about your start at Portland State and then Sonoma, and now we're at HPU. How does it feel to be here?
It feels really good to be here. I'm very honored to still be playing the sport I love, and I get to play it in Hawaii, so that's a total plus. I think coming from so many different schools, starting off in Division I was it's such a different level of play, and then when you go to junior college, it's a different level of play, but it's still the same energy and kind of leadership role as an outside hitter. So I do feel like all of those kind of prepared me to come into this team. And so I do believe playing at all these different levels prepared me to be in this level and kind of know myself as a player and know what my strengths are.
Yeah. Did you ever picture yourself playing in Hawaii?
No. I would have never imagined that this is a wild card.
And let's talk a little bit about your recruiting process, getting here, how you met Coach Jenic.
Yeah, so I was in the CCAA conference. I was at Sonoma State, and then they pulled our athletics. And so it was a stressful process at first, but I was trying to be more proactive than reactive. And it actually was my trainer that said, "Did you reach out to any of the Hawaii schools?" And I go, "That's not even an option. Like, I don't think that's even going to work." But I reached out, and I just happened to catch Coach Jenic on a really great day. And he was able to respond back to me, and he made the recruiting process actually very smooth and very easy. And I came out here, and yeah, the rest is pretty much history.
And Maile, you also have a very a wonderful experience with how you got recruited too. Can you share a little bit about that?
My story is actually quite similar to Peyton's in the fact that I just happened to email Coach Jenic and, talk with him about that. And somehow I ended up here, like, right before I graduated high school. It was, like, very last minute, but so grateful to be here. And actually, almost, I think 4 to 5 years ago, my dad, found his way through the crowd, found Coach Jenic at a a national club tournament, and talked to him, and it was like, hey, who are you watching? And, I have a daughter that's coming up and playing. And then years later, he's like, you should reach out to this coach that I talked to 5 years ago. It's like, okay, yeah. And then, and now I'm here. So grateful.
And let's talk a little bit about your playing history. You played internationally, correct?
Yes.
Volleyball. Did you do track internationally as well, or just volleyball?
Yes, I played track and field. I did track and field also.
So, can you tell us a little bit about that experience and going into now playing at college level, how that international level helped prepare you for college?
I really think that playing internationally, having teammates, both like really talented teammates here in the U.S. and also in the Philippines, and then playing against so many different players in different countries around Asia, just gave me a bigger perspective on volleyball. And then also when it came to track, different aspects of the sport, like how the small details can really make a big difference, or learning, discipline, having discipline in a sport. All my coaches, teammates, and my mentors over the years, brought me here. And then now having such a great support system in the Sharks volleyball program, I just feel like it's such a new opportunity and amazing place to grow.
Right, and for both of you guys, it's a big transition. So what has been the best part about transitioning to HPU? We can start with you, Peyton.
I think, the location doesn't hurt, but transitioning into this program, I think there's a lot of fight and drive. I think they have a lot to prove, and they want to prove to themselves, like especially the girls being here for many years. I think there's fire in their eyes. They want more from themselves, and it's not much of a, slack off. This is what it is. I think they really, really want to win, and I do appreciate that. I think just being on different squads so many years, you just have a different team dynamic, and this dynamic really wants to win, and I appreciate that for sure.
What about you, Maile?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fire within this team. Having the mix of veterans, returners, and new faces kind of allows the team to grow together throughout this season. And I also really appreciate how this program, when it comes to like the coaching staff or even just other players supporting each other, whether it's trying new things or just pushing through, those long days or, the long stretch of games that we have ahead.
And Coach, they talk a lot about support and kind of like, I feel like there's a really good mix of girls that have stepped up from last season, and you brought in two really great girls that are contributing right off the bench. So how has that like transition and getting them to jive been for you?
The transition with the new freshmen and the two transfers that came in, I would say is mixing very well. And their experiences and their desire to make an impact right away helps. And with our returning players, understanding that they've gone through a lot of battles in their experiences prior, know that they don't want to stay in that same, direction. So they're accepting it. They know what needs to be done. And it's like passing the baton. Our seniors are saying, hey, this is our last chance to do the rally. So they want to pass it on to the youngers and say that let's start something new. So
yeah. And Peyton, is this your last year of eligibility this year? I just want to touch on that a little bit.
This is my last and final year.
Yeah. Well, on the court, it really does seem like both of you guys have really stepped up into that leadership position, and that's hard, being that this is your guys' first year here, right? So how have you guys been able to do that? If that question makes sense.
It does make sense.
Do you want to go first? Okay. I think a lot of, the leadership role comes from past experiences, but also the veterans here, like, shout out to our, like, veteran setters, Jordan and Lauren. They've helped me so much in guiding me, about learning the players coming in and, what it means to take on the role of a setter, and then also just all of our teammates in general kind of, sticking together, and then just letting each other know, like, hey, it's okay to lead in any way, shape, or form, whether it's, like spoken leadership or just, doing your thing on the court.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coming in, I think I'm a very competitive person, but I bring good energy on it. So they might think that I'm not as competitive as it seems, but then I get on the court because I can be buddies with everybody. But then the minute I get on the court, I'm like, okay, well, this is what we came here to do. And this is what I've journeyed my whole 20s to get to. So I think at this point, for me, it's second nature to be on the court and play this sport. And I expect nothing less than to come in and try to work hard and push my teammates. And I appreciate them teaching me things. I mean, every day I'm always learning something new. And I think them welcoming me with open arms, but also understanding that I do have an IQ to this game and I do bring something that maybe takes time to learn or maybe takes experience to learn. And so I think coming out here has been beneficial.
Yeah, you can definitely see both of your guys' presence on the court very clearly when you play. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but before we go, Hawaii Pacific University Athletics is sponsored by BSN Sports. At BSN Sports, we create exclusive, personalized solutions for your program, from custom equipment, uniforms, and coaches' apparel to fanwear, branding, and more. We do it all. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Welcome back to Sharks Weekly on Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760. Still joined by head coach Jenic, Peyton McBride, and Maile Salang. So we were talking a little bit about volleyball IQ. Let's talk a little bit about more of that, only because I feel like that is such an important part of the game. And coach, we'll start off with you. They're college players, right? Yeah. You kind of expect them to come in with that, but maybe how do you help them grow it even more?
Yeah, it's a way. I think we talked about it a little bit earlier this week, that when you have two teams that athletically comparable, the next thing is the mind IQ of the game. So I'm trying to get them to get in a way where they can see plays or read plays happening, two touches in advance, and I think that's where experience come in and understanding what is potentially going to happen. So that volleyball IQ is, watching film, just understanding tendencies, and the more you play it, the more you'll get to understand it. Questions is always good.
Yeah. And Maile, being a setter, right? Volleyball IQ is 100% important. How have you developed that throughout your playing experience?
Throughout the years, I feel like playing on so many different teams under so many different volleyball approaches helped me kind of develop not only one style, but kind of a style that integrates and incorporates so many different kinds of ways to play volleyball. So, experimenting with that on the court, running plays, running offense, different tempos and things like that, I think really bring a whole different level and side to volleyball. If you're just watching, you wouldn't realize how much goes into thinking about it and, how complicated it can get. But I think having experience of playing here where there's a lot of focus on power and, kills and stats, and then also back in the Philippines where they're running plays, running speed, things like that, and just mixing it all together kind of, helps me to,
So what do you think about when people say, oh, the setters are the quarterbacks of the team?
Funny thing, my dad has always told me the same exact thing because he played college football and he had the same exact sentiment. He's like, you're playing the position that's just like the quarterback. You're making decisions on the fly, and your job is to make sure that your teammates are put in the best position to succeed and score. And so I kind of really just try to take on that role of I need to do everything I can to make sure, my players can score and, do their best. And so that's kind of just keeping that mindset of staying composed.
Yeah. And Peyton, how do you feel your relationship with the setters are, and how important is that as an outside hitter for you?
I think the setter totally is the quarterback. I think we build off each other's IQs. If I can understand her and her thought process, I can build on that as well. especially when you have a setter that you connect with and you're communicating with that understands you. They know in certain situations what you need. If you can't get out enough, they'll know to bring it in. And I think obviously that develops over time as well. But us working together, especially as an outside and a setter, it's really important for the IQ of the game, because she allows me to see things unspokenly because it's happening so fast, what I can do, and putting me in positions that she feels is best and that I obviously feel is best as well.
And when it comes to your hitting style, let's talk a little bit about that. What do you, like, I feel like every hitter has, like, a thought that's going through their head when they're hitting. What is your thought? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Like, kill the ball? Or like,
yeah.
I want to know too.
What's going on behind those thoughts? Yeah, so for me, I think hitting at the highest point is my first goal. Does that always happen? I would love for that to always happen, but it doesn't always. But I think I'm trying to put myself in a position to beat them in their own faults on the other side. If I see that a middle is not getting there in time, I want to take advantage of the things that they have made a mistake about. So, I mean, really taking advantage of the other side's faults is big for me. And then obviously being an outside hitter, like, you do want to just crush the ball and make that big play, but that builds momentum for me. Like, we had a time in the game where I finally had this big kill and he's like, "Are you ready now? You feel good now?" And I go, "Yeah, no, I needed that." Thank you. So I mean, probably for most outside hitters, you want to have that big kill that builds your momentum, and then you want to continue to do that.
And do you feel like you're more of a power hitter or a smart hitter?
I would like to say both. I try not to do anything too risky that isn't still thought about. But I would probably say I'm a power hitter.
Coach,
she can be. I think more, I mean, for me, I think the word is crafty, you know, and the timing of when she wants to be a power hitter, she'll know when to hit off blocks or just short off speed. And again, that's the maturity of the game, because as the speed of the game, there's a lot of variables being involved in hitting, because the pass has to be there, the set has to be there. You got film on you. They know your favorite shots. So can you process that in a quick way to score points and help your team?
And for you, Coach, are you more impressed by those girls that are just banging the balls in the 10-foot line, or players like Peyton, where you are very crafty and you know where to put the ball, I guess? The power hitters, like, which one impresses you more?
I think the power hitter is in terms of what you see. I think more of the score. Can you score on every swing you take? That's the one that as a pin hitter, whether it's the middle or outside, right side, left side, if they can score the percentage, and that way, that every chance she gets a set, there's a good possibility of scoring a point.
Yeah.
And right now in the conference, I think we have Belashoni is having a good first preseason year with the percentage. So that's when I get at my setters. You got to know who's scoring points. We need to find ways to get her the ball.
Yeah, over the tournament, she had double-double.
Double-doubles.
Yeah, it was kind of for a middle, and that's really hard, right? So what is the biggest growth that you guys, coach and players, have seen so far in this non-conference?
I think the confidence on our team is a huge development. I think some of these girls, almost in terms of that, are unrecognizable. I think I'd seen them be a little mental when I first came in, which is totally okay. New year, different people coming in, different threats to your position. I understand that. But I think those mental battles are a struggle, at least in the beginning of the season. And I think now girls are really starting to find their own spark within themselves and their confidence. And so I think that's been a big development on our squad.
I also agree with that. And also, like, team chemistry as well. I think coming together and then, having this motivation to like go into the season together as sort of a new team, like a mix of new faces and returners, and then coming in with that idea that, you know, we can do this, like we've got this.
Right. For sure. I think the biggest thing for them, is the relief of it, and playing against Cal State LA and the way they played. That game could have gone either way, but to see them battle, that's the thing. Battle against a team or program that has consistently, be up there in their conference. And I think 2 years ago they were their national champs, so they had players from that past team playing on this current team. So, you know, whether we won or lost, I think the biggest thing that I saw growth was they can compete.
Yeah.
So,
Peyton, you had something?
I was honestly the same thing. I was just going to say they're finding ways to win, so that's good.
Yeah, and you guys definitely look a lot more aggressive, especially your libero this year, Taylor, coach. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about her.
Sure.
And her growth.
She's definitely grown a lot from her being on her third year, actually a graduate. But she's understand that, being that position plays a big role in keeping the rally alive. She is supposedly our general in the back row. She needs to take charge of that, and she's kind of accepting that. And for her, is just being, I don't want to say reckless back there, but more in terms of, being in front of the ball. I mean, if she can get in front of the ball, I think, our setters can get out there and get a good hittable ball to our attackers.
Yeah. And you guys talked a lot about the different chemistry this year, Peyton and Maile. So what have you guys been doing off the court? Have you guys been doing anything off the court?
She did some yard work. That's something she never did before.
Off the court to help build that yard work.
Yeah.
How was that? Oh.
It was great. I really learned things about myself. Developed new passions.
Did some community service.
Called my dad, said, I appreciate everything that you've done for us.
Yeah.
We all did it. It was good.
It was a team community.
It was hard work, actually. Yeah. At one point, I was like, wait, this is a really, really far... I don't see the end of this field.
And you have your nails done. How was that?
It was just helping me dig more holes and get those weeds out.
That was the biggest thing you guys did to get your energy.
We do a lot of we bond as a team. Actually, this is the team I've bonded on the most. And you have your different people that like obviously their own little groups, but I truly think that when I come into practice or if I see them outside of the gym, we're a pretty connected team. We do like each other. Sometimes that's really, really good. And then sometimes I'm like, okay, we need to lock in because we all really like each other.
Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break. But before we go, Hawaii Pacific University Athletics is sponsored by Suihiro Electric. At DIC Hawaii, we are dedicated to constantly providing work in the most efficient manner. With over 3 decades of experience and expertise in electrical industry under our belt, we have worked tirelessly to ensure that our performance represents our company mission, providing customer service. We'll be right back after the break.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
All right, we're back on Sharks Weekly, still talking HPU women's volleyball with Coach Jenic, outside hitter Peyton McBride, and setter Maile Salang. Peyton, let's start with you. You've played at Portland State, Golden West, and Sonoma before coming to HPU. What was maybe your most memorable moment in your career so far? Big moment.
A big moment for me. Sorry, it's been a couple of years.
It's been a journey, right?
You know what? The biggest moment for me was when I was at Portland State my freshman year, and we played Weber State, and it was on my birthday, my 18th birthday, and I had a double-double, and I had like 23 kills and 20 digs, and I didn't even know what that meant because I was so new to Well, because I think in club, I wasn't big on stats. I was like, yeah, I had a good day, but I wasn't going home and checking the stats. I just knew we won, and that's what mattered. So when I got home, and obviously when you go into the collegiate level, you look at stats. And when I got home, I was like, this is a good birthday. And none of my family came out and visited on my birthday, but no, it was okay. We were in season, so it's like you're moving around so much. But I was like, wow, this is good. And I just remember feeling over the moon about that, especially as a freshman. So I think that was probably a really good memory for me.
So why the transition from Portland State to Golden West and then to Sonoma?
Yeah, so I did go into the transfer portal at Portland State. I just felt that I did like the division. I just didn't feel that the school as a whole was something, a match for me, something I was looking for. And then in that time of me trying to find my way, I was in a car accident and I broke both my hips and my pelvis. So definitely red flag for the recruiting process. So I think, and then COVID happened. And I think for me, and you're young and then you think everything's the end of the world. So I was like, I don't know. I think I just need to take some time off. Mm-hmm. And then I took 3 years off and I moved to Florida, and then just that's a whole nother part of my life. But when I came back to California, I was just going to go to junior college just to get my credits figured out. And then my uncle's friends with the coach at the junior college, and he goes, I need someone that plays volleyball. And I'm like, not me. Okay, it's been 3 years. You might as well say that's like history. He goes, muscle memory never goes away. And 3 days later, I had knee pads on, and every day I was 1 push-up and then 2 push-ups, and then I was like, I can't jump off the ground. I don't even remember the last time I jumped in the air. It's like, how do you know if you don't try? And then sure enough, it really was muscle memory, because I was like, wait, oh my gosh, it just came back to me. And then Sonoma State found me, and then I came to Hawaii. So it's kind of a little bit of the journey.
Truly comeback story, huh?
Yeah.
That's amazing. And then Maile, right? You played on the U18 national team for Philippines. How was that? How was that experience for you playing there?
That was one of the biggest honors of my life, mm-hmm. I feel, to represent the Philippines. And, similarly to Peyton, I went to 2 different middle schools and then 4 different high schools. Throughout, like, all these years, like, different teams, different coaches. But I think that all led up to that moment, playing for my country and then playing against different countries. We played, like, Japan, Australia, Thailand, Iran, Malaysia, and then moving forward, those experiences kind of just shaped the whole way I think about volleyball, like how volleyball transcends age, it transcends language, like the passion and love people have for the sport is worldwide. And so I think coming into this program with that kind of thought process helped me connect like with players, like me and Peyton, our age difference, and like we have so many different experiences. She has a lot of experience playing volleyball, like up to this point. All my experience has only been, at the high school level or middle school level, but still we can connect through the language and love that is volleyball.
Yeah. I don't see age when I see Maile. I mean, I really don't. I look at her just as another player that she's very mature too for a freshman, but I look at her as IQ and the way that she plays and the energy she brings. So it is funny being older and, like they call me grandma and stuff, but it's like age is really, it doesn't matter when you have that maturity in the game and the like will to fight or whatever. So
for sure.
Yeah. And Peyton, you've been recognized for a couple MVP honors, right? That just goes to attest for how competitive you are. So how have you brought, you talked a little bit about it in the first half, but how have you brought that competitive into this HPU team?
Me as a player, I managed to balance having fun energy while still being competitive. I think you can be competitive and want more from your team, but you don't have to have a bad attitude about it. And I think me coming in, it's even if I'm not the scorer right then and there, even if I'm just back row, it's like I'll run up to the players and start banging on their chest like, oh my gosh, that was so amazing. And I'll crack little jokes on the court to keep that energy up. And I think as an overall sense, sometimes you need that even if you're not the one that is the kill leader in that game per se. So I think I've had that at a young age and that's developed more. Also, I guess just the will to fight. Like, I want to win. I mean, I'm just a winner. Like, I want to win. So I will find a way. And if it means some girl's down in her dumps, then I can look at that and see she might need a little bit more of this, or we might need to go in a different direction. Maybe this is a time to crack a joke, or, hey, this is time to lock in. And it is funny when I do kind of get like, come on, guys, let's go. They're like, okay, this is serious now. She's usually joking, and this is like, this is not funny. So.
But I've loved the energy, seeing the energy from you. Like, I feel like teams really do build off of their outside hitter, right? Mm-hmm. Whether you guys are scoring or even making a mistake, and that energy coming off of you has just been great to watch.
Thank you.
And excited to watch more of you guys. So, I gotta ask, you talked about jokes. Who's the best joker on your guys' team?
You.
You say
There's a few of you guys.
There's actually a lot on our team.
We have a lot of jokesters on our team, and even ones you wouldn't expect. We have a really funny team, actually. It's I don't know.
For me, like, it could be anyone. Like, I remember there was a lunch. Actually, it was the team lunch after we had our, like, community
yard
service.
Work. Yeah.
I kid you not, I cried actual tears, like, for like minutes straight, because everyone was just cracking jokes with each other. I don't know. Who do you think?
I mean, Sophia is really
sure.
funny. She's also my roommate, so I live with her. So I'm like, this goes deeper than just this goes beyond off the court, you know. Mm-hmm. Riley is really funny to me. Like a really good jokester.
I think the jokes comes at an unusual time. And that's when you see that's the jokester, you know?
Yeah. Everybody's got pretty good comedic timing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I really appreciate that.
Yeah. And everyone riffs off of each other, too. So
how about him?
He's funny.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other day, he was playing with us.
Oh,
and
my
just the way.
Yeah.
Just a warm up.
He was
say, if a nearly 60-year-old guy can move like this.
No, it was not warm up. The way
I didn't even warm up.
He was I know, and he was walking off the court, and he's doing all these funny things. Next thing you know, there's 2 balls on the court. He's doing sneak attacks. He's diving, putting his hands together, diving all. It was kind of swaggy. You can't lie. I mean, you kind of had a little bit of.
Yeah. He was joking us out.
Yeah.
He was like, it's time to trust in what I know, and
so,
he showed us.
How does that feel? Having a coach, right? Because sometimes coaches you see them play and they can't. How does that feel having a coach that can still step on the court and play with you guys?
I mean, it's admirable.
Yeah. I didn't hurt myself, so it's good.
They were already playing. They started way early, so when I was there doing my bands, like, I gotta learn how to do that. Because he was doing things I was like, wait, I need to take notes.
Were you doing the old lady style stuff, the grandma?
No, it's just more, again, maybe 2-3 plays ahead of, I know where this ball's going, and they're figuring out how do you touch that ball, and, you know, and transition-wise, I think they were so surprised that I was going for it. My setter got surprised that the ball got to her that fast.
I was impressed with his defense.
I think
he would like get the ball up with his fist and all this stuff, and I go, wow, he makes that look easy. What am I doing?
He was setting to me at one point as well. He was like every position was all over.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about your guys' game that's going on this week. You guys have 2 games. The first game is going to be at Jessup, and then Fresno Pacific. What are you doing, Coach, to help prepare them for these games besides film?
Yeah, I think I stayed away from film this week. I think we're just going to more control ourselves, what we can control. And I think that's the biggest thing right now. My focus is getting ourselves ready. Yes, the film should be me. I think them is more like, hey, do what they can control, and we should be fine. And it's a back-to-back game, so I think more of just preparing a good battle.
Yeah, of course. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but before we go, Hawaii Pacific University is sponsored by Pepsi Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Pepsi, create more smiles with every sip and every bite. We'll be right back after this break.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
Wrapping up Sharks Weekly with HPU Women's Volleyball. Still joined by head coach Jenic, Peyton McBride, and Maile Salang. So we talked a lot about what's been going on throughout your guys' play so far, but let's talk about the goals for the teams and then individually. Let's start with you first, Maile.
I think one thing that Coach has mentioned to us, or keeps telling us, is team culture. Like continuing to build that team culture and being there for each other. Because technical skills and like physicality can only get you so far. But when it gets to those tough matches or those challenging moments, it's like that mindset and the unity that will keep the team together and keep the team going. So I think that's one thing that throughout the year we can just, kind of go back to.
What about for you, Peyton? What's one goal for you this season?
A goal for me this season is to keep a solid serve-receive in my gameplay, but finding even more ways to win. I think obviously other teams, they do film, they know which hitters that don't need to get on, because then it's going to be bad for them. So I think I have to find better ways to score, even if that means I don't get to bang the ball down. So obviously it's great to have good games, but then that's a red flag for the other teams. So I think I also want to have more blocks this season.
Yeah.
And Coach, as a team, what is one of your goals, or maybe a few goals for the Sharks?
Yeah, this year is special. I can see good things happening. The biggest goal I kind of on a day-to-day is having them be better on what they did yesterday, kind of thing. We do want to go extending our season and get into the PacWest Conference playoff, which is the first year that they're going to have it this year, and it's here at Honolulu. So we're excited about that, and if we can maintain on what we want to do, and eventually get into that position.
Right down the street.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a big goal.
And what's one thing that you want to see improvement from this team throughout the season?
I think the biggest improvement I want to see is they got to believe in that they belong. Sometimes, especially the returning players, as Peyton had mentioned, that sometimes they go back, and think of, are we really, this is better than what we did last year? We are. We're definitely a whole new team. And if they can believe that they belong in this conference, and believing themselves first, and then believe in their teammates, I think that's going to transpire in their play.
And for you guys, you're playing. What is one thing that you want to see improvement throughout season in your play? Maile, you want to start?
I think just keeping that competitive drive, and also, acknowledging the roles and responsibility of the position, doing the best I can to lead, despite the fact that I'm coming in as a freshman and, this is going to be my first year on the team. But really just absorbing everything that I can, listening to the coaches, listening to my teammates, and then working together with them. I think, just having a good season ahead.
Is this a question about the team or individual?
Individual.
Okay.
Or you can do both.
Okay. Obviously, trying to keep that energy up on the team. Next point mentality is huge for our team. I think sometimes we get stuck on, the wrong things. But for me, I think an overall like low error and just trying to keep positive hitting percentage would be beneficial. Just as that's just a standard for if we want to win. So I think that's where I stand on that.
And I think the biggest thing we haven't talked about yet is how mental of a sport volleyball is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's
Yeah,
more mental than physical.
It definitely is, and I mean, if you're playing somewhat injured as well, that's even more for the mental toughness,
Yeah.
you know. And these girls, they work hard every day to get better, and I think it's just having enjoyment of this opportunity, you know, that they have as a collegiate student athlete, and not very much people have that, you know. So I think that's something that they can cherish and continue to move on forward.
And Peyton, what is one thing that you feel like you either tell yourself or look for maybe in your teammates to help, let's say you're in a mental block, to get over that kind of thing?
I think trust is a huge thing on your team, but I think what would be helpful for me is that if I am in a mental block, I can trust that someone is going to step in and step up. And I think that is huge on this team. Like, it doesn't have to be this person or, you know, oh, maybe every game it's this person that's always on. Someone that's like, you know what? Someone's not doing well right now. I'm going to step up and find a way to, you know, do kills. So, or get a block or really pay attention to the fine detail of their gameplay. So then that can help if someone is a mental block. So I guess just trusting that someone else can step up if I'm in a position like that.
What about for you, Maile?
Yeah, I think volleyball is a game about moving forward, and there's a lot of like momentum aspects. So kind of a phrase that you hear a lot is bettering the ball. So it's like, you know, if one thing goes wrong, then the next person can make it better, and then the next person can make it better. And, you know, just trusting that, you know, our teammates, like, we will each find a way and we'll support each other in that way. You know, whether it's like, you know, just words of encouragement type of support, or also like, you know, I'm going to score off of this ball. Like, I'm telling you that I'm going to score, or me telling my hitters, like, I'm going to find the ways for you guys to, you know, do your best and do what you want to do on the court.
Yeah.
There's so many aspects of the game too. It's like, if you're not doing good at hitting, then focus on your serve receive. Like, at least for me, that's how it feels. It's okay, I just got blocked. Well, I'm going to make sure I try to do a really good serve, or I'm going to make sure that I'm focusing on my serve receive because I have to contribute in some way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's a great mentality to have. Shifting back to PacWest, what is one team that you are excited to face off this year?
Wow, that's a good, very good question. You know, I think obviously the whole PacWest Conference is going to be solid. But the teams that I think I want to do well against, because basically it's going to be our last time competing against them. It's Azusa and Fresno. You know, those teams are going to go to a different conference and different divisions. So I want to end up on a good note versus them. But I think, you know, we're just going to take it game by game. And that's our next opponent is who we want to compete against and battle.
And right now, you guys are kind of the underdogs, right?
I love that. I love that. I want to stay off the radar. You know, and these girls have, you know, they know it's something hard work that's going to pay off. So they're continually working hard on the court.
Yeah, I definitely think you guys are about to upset a few schools this year.
Before we get out of here, I am a little bit curious, guys, and I will say this. I'm super excited to get an opportunity to see you guys tomorrow, and if anybody's interested in that, be sure to tune in on 95.1 FM, AM 760, or streaming live on HawaiiSportsRadio.com as the Sharks take on Jessup. A little fun question to close things out here, and Coach, I want you to be involved in this as well. What is a must-have on your pregame playlist, a must-listen in terms of a song? What might we hear tomorrow? And I'll just toss it to the players first, of course.
Yeah, go ahead, girls.
That's a really good question. If you can think of one before.
Yeah. The music pre-game is like a different genre every game, but I think we all find ways to, vibe to it and get in that mindset. Like we've had like Disney movie soundtracks play before. We've had rap and hip hop, we've had pop, we've had electronic music. So like, yeah, honestly,
I don't think they will want my playlist. It will probably be like a Jock Jams back in the 80s or so like that.
Well, actually, that's funny that you say that. Because Don't Stop Me Now by Queen has always been in my playlist since I was in high school. And so that is something that does make an appearance quite often for me.
So it looks like we'll be plugging Coach Jenic's phone into the playlist this next game.
Great. I would change.
That's a wrap on Sharks Weekly. Huge thanks to head coach Jenic Tumaneng, Peyton McBride, and Maile Salang for joining us today. You've been listening to Sharks Weekly, broadcasting live from Hawaii Sports Radio Network in Manoa, powered by DSE Hawaii, right here on Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.